Welcome back, folks. I'm just going to go through a bunch of mail that came in the last couple of days. Normally, I don't drag you through this, but when I got a lot like this, I'll see what I can do to show you what I got. Okay. Okay. Yeah, these are ground clips for oscilloscope probes. There's only 4 of them. I thought there'd be 5. I'll have to check the eBay ad, but that's sufficient. I just keep them around as spares. They're just your generic style. And put them into my probing drawer. Up next, make sure it's out of the way of the knife. This blade doesn't seem so sharp. Yes. I've been waiting for these. These are going to go with a project that I'm going to be showing you some more parts that I've got in for a project. This is another project that's been hanging around for, I think it's about a year now at least. Let me show you these. These are pretty neat. These are EMI filters. Let me go on the input. So you bring your power in, you take it out here. I was also going to try one of these just on the output of that cheap power supply. I'll leave a link to the cheap power supply up there, so you know what I'm talking about. You see if it can help filter out some of the noise of that. But so yeah, these are handy. They've got a couple of common mode chokes in it, a few Y capacitors, a few X capacitors, and they filter out a lot of the noise that comes into your equipment. Now, next we have this. I have an inkling of what this might be, just from its shape. And it is. Okay. So what this is, if you saw my recent update to my beginner's toolkit, I'll leave a link for that up there. You'll notice I've been looking around for a replacement for the function generator, and I think this is going to be it. Okay, it comes with an English instruction sheet. That's nice. And a USB cable. Not quite a standard size connector on it. A little pain in the butt, but that's okay. We'll live with that. So yeah, here it is. It's a nice little DDS based function generator. And one of the things I liked about it is that it's got a DC offset that can be turned on or off. Now, I don't know whether they just switch a capacitor in and out of here, but when it's on, it is adjustable. And that's one of the things about the current little oscillator that I don't like, is that there's no adjustment of the offset on it, and it always has an offset there. And yeah, we're going to have to get into this. Now, one of the things that I've looked at other people's reviews of this, one of the things that they don't like about it is the fact that to make changes to the frequency, you have to kind of turn it off. So you have to stop it, make the change to the frequency, and then start it up again. I don't see that as a huge problem. I mean, it is nice to be able to sweep through certain things, and the other function generator that we have will do that to some extent, although range changing on it is a pain in the butt. But we'll do a video on this, a brief video to review this and see if it X out the other little generator. Now, a nice thing about the other generator was it was a kit. So if you're just beginning in electronics, you need all the practice you can get to learn how to solder properly. I mean, that is a very nice, easy to build kit, which adds to the fun of having it. But this, this is not a lot more money. I think that I think it's about twice the price. The other function generator kit, I think, runs around about $10 to $14. I got this up on AliExpress for $20, and I think shipping was $4 or something like that. So for $24, now I had to pay shipping on the other item as well. So yeah, all totaled, possibly around about twice the price or a little bit less. It's a far more substantial thing too. Anyway, we'll do a separate video on this and see if it fits our requirements for an inexpensive laboratory tool. Now, next is this. Oh, yeah, I like this packing material. This is nice. Ah, okay. Relays, Omron relays. Nothing at all. Okay. So what these are going to be used for, a little while ago I did a video on building a little device, which I have now incorporated into this bench, that when the power goes out, it unlatches and it won't let the power come back on again until you put the power on. So it's basically a safety device. A lot of times your equipment, when it gets toasted because of a power failure, it's not because the power went out, it's because the power goes on and off. And when the power comes back on, there can be enormous surges associated with that. And that's generally what fries your equipment. So what this thing does, and I'll leave a link to that up there, is when the power goes out, it unlatches and drops the power. You have to cover it down and intentionally turn it back on again after the power is stabilized. So a single relay, and it's a nice small compact relay, so it can fit into one of these boxes, of which I have tons and tons of. It fits in there nicely. Next, now I opened this up, I thought it was something else, but this has to do with that project that has been lying around here forever and ever and ever and ever. So I went ahead and I ordered up more of these, which went astray. I had trouble finding one of them as well. Let me show you what they are. These are Morrison power supplies I got from ABP. I like the Morrison stuff. Previously, I had for this project, I had Meanwell power supplies, but I used them up in other things. I used a lot of the stuff up. The only thing I have, and I can't find them right now, are the panels I had made up for the front and back of this project. Now what the project is a wall wart eliminator. So I've got plugged in along here, I've got 24 power sockets along the back of my bench here. And about, 30% of them are taken up with bloody wall warts. And the wall warts produce such horrible power, because they're usually just the cheapest possible little switching supplies, that I wanted to build up something like a single unit that would take up one power socket, and it would have multiple outlets for 5 volts, 12 volts, and 9 volts, and I could just plug up in whatever I needed into that, and I'd have much better, cleaner power, and use up only one of the sockets on my bench here. Now, this is another one I opened up because I thought it was something else too. These are little surface mount device sample books. These are great for keeping track of your resistors. So in here, in this one here, I have my surface mount resistors. And where I got the idea for this is that a little while back I bought another one, and these are all 0805s. But when I was looking around, like I paid quite a bit for this. Like it was like something like $30. But I found that you can buy these all by themselves, very inexpensively, and you can buy the resistors and the capacitors all by themselves, very inexpensively. And combining them together yourself, you save a ton of money, and you still get all the convenience of having your resistors and capacitors, nice little binders. All right, this one seems to be a very, very, very big bag for a very, very, very small thing, and I think I know what it is. It's a switch. Oh, I don't need that. It's a switch. Just a single switch. And this switch is for my drill press. A long time ago, it's got to be 10 years more, I broke the switch of my drill press, and I've been just plugging it in, and unplugging it, and plugging it in. I finally, just a couple of days ago, I did a search. I said it was a Delta drill press, and it's a Delta drill press switch, and up popped an ad from Amazon, and sure enough, there it is. This is exactly the right one. Now, this goes into this plate, which and screws into the drill press itself. Yeah, so here's the switch. I just nibbled out the plate here using a metal nibbler, and the switch fit in perfectly after that. I just nibbled out a little bit along the top there, and it's all hooked up, and now I just got to screw it in. It's all in place now. I can turn it on. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, also I added this light on here a long time ago. This is very handy. If you ever have a drill press like this, one of the best things you can do is mount a light onto the side of it like this. Okay, here's the final thing for today. Save the biggest for last. And this is a case. I had one just like this before. This is the case for that wall wart eliminator project. I had most of these parts before. The only thing I didn't have before was the 9-volt power supply. But I had everything else. I don't know why I delayed putting it together, but the case that I had back then, I ended up building a preamplifier for a buddy in it and gave it to him. And one of the power supplies went into that. I think it was the 12-volt one. And yeah, the other 5-volt power supply, I used it in an old computer that I put into a case. And, you know, I pilfered parts, and then, you know, and then the other parts have gotten misplaced. There's a whole bunch of panel mount DC jacks as well. I got to try and find them. So this is another case, just like these cases here, and I use these cases all the time. I even one time bought a bigger one of these and built a power amplifier for it for my large screen, my projection TV thing. I love these cases. They're really handsome, and they're not that expensive. In fact, I think this one here is like $21. This is like $23. You know, you're not paying much more for the bigger case. But yeah, these are awesome cases. I'll leave a link to them down in the description below. But so, just a second, I'll show you what I plan to do here. So basically what's going to happen is one of these will be mounted in here. The power will come in the back through one of these arrangements. And so that'll be mounted over here. It'll have a power switch. Power will come in, go through this, get filtered. And then these power supplies will be placed in here like this. I think that one will have to be mounted on standoffs like that. And then along the back here is where most of the outlets will be, the power outlets. So I'll have them grouped. And then in the front here, on the front there'll be these little meters. In 3 sections along here. See, I've been using these up too. I've got to get another one of these because I used one up for something else. So I'll have to order another one of these before I can proceed. So one will be, you know, for the 5-volt section, one will be for the 9-volt section, one will be for the 12-volt section. They give both voltage and current readouts, and then I'll have a couple of outlets on the front as well, just so I can plug something in quickly. And this will go up on my bench and be my wall wart, very large wall wart. That should be a great little project. All right, thank you very much for joining me today, folks. That's about all I have for you, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.